Hello, captains. This is Kent again, and welcome to the flight show. So, again, I'm excited. It seems I'm excited every time I'm doing a video lately, and I am. Because I'm always figuring out things that I really want to try and do. And so, here's what I'm doing now. Particularly because there have been requests for the African continent. And I've kind of had this buzz for the South American continent. I'm now having a series. And the flights that I'm going to be doing in this series are going to either be the African continent series, South American continent series, or the not Eurasia rather, but the Pacific Asian region series. And the reason I'm doing this is because as I look at some of the content, a lot of the content that's on the internet, a lot of this content is flying in the United States and in Europe. And, you know, I like flying these places. Of course, I'm flying them with everybody else. But I come to find that if everybody's doing it, I'm not really contributing anything new and interesting because everybody's doing it. So here are the series that I'm going to be doing. Aside from reviewing the African continent, but in terms of flights, what I really think I'm going to be focusing on is either series of, as I mentioned before, the South American series, the African series, the Pacific Asian series. So that's going to be Japan, anywhere in the islands of that particular region, Australia, New Zealand, and maybe even as far as Hawaii, because it's out there in the Pacific. And another series that there was one other, and it's slipping my mind. Forget it. But so when I do flights, if I'm going from one distant place to another, I'm going to be trying to do realistic flights in those regions, and the title will designate what that is. Because what I am finding is I've investigated, South America has some really wonderful airports that have been created for Prepar3D. So what we're doing, and this is going to be, I hope to be interesting, this is going to be flying to a difficult elevated approach. We're going to be flying from Bogota, Colombia, or El Dorado International to a very small mountainous region airport known, let me get my, I want to say this right, known as La Nubia Manizales in Colombia. It's, by the way, this is an airport that has been created for Prepar3D, and it has a sloped runway, which is one of the reasons I chose it. It's a difficult approach, and there are only 3 aircraft that fly there. This being one of them, the ATR 72, and this is an actual Colombian airline I was fortunate to find the livery for, which is Easy Fly. So this is an actual route with an actual plane for an actual flight in an actual country, Colombia. So let's just go ahead. Now, I'm really doing this for the fact of the flight, so you don't have to worry about all of the startup. I've already gotten our navs in the computer. They're all taken care of, and now we're going to get off of our engine or our pseudo APU, and we're going to get going. So let's bring out our ultimate ground crew, do our pushback sequence. And we're going to want to be facing northwest. Okay.
Ground to flight deck.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Communication check, please, and confirm the brakes are set.
Communications are good and the brakes are set.
Thanks.
And I'm actually going to start my ultimate ground crew because it works with this plane and in Prepar3D, so I'm happy about that. Okay, yeah, get out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. We ask that you please fasten your seatbelt at this time and secure the
Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, cockpit.
We are ready for pushback and engine start, facing northwest.
Roger, facing northwest. Release brakes.
Brakes released.
Okay, commencing pushback.
Okay, so I don't know. Do I have to stop this to actually release the brake? I have to read up on that, but let's just say no. Now, what is our propeller?
You're clear behind and you can start your engines at your discretion.
Oh, I did that earlier.
Go ahead, cockpit.
Nothing. Do your thing. Alright, so we got one engine started, and we can go ahead.
Go ahead, flight deck.
Check it out. Wing walker out of the cabin. Well, they better watch themselves. Looks like it might get hit by a propeller.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Brakes are set.
Roger.
Okay, my man is actually in the right place this time for after pushback. He's just not standing up on the airplane. However, he is standing so he can get hit by the tug.
Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear.
You are free to disconnect and go to hand signals.
Roger, have a nice flight.
Thank you. Sorry about the dings. What's so funny is I was about to say, oh, that's my girlfriend texting me, and she's not my girlfriend, just someone I really
Thanks,
like.
have a safe flight.
That I think I'm making progress with.
Go ahead, flight deck.
Okay, so let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Check this. We got flaps. I know I'm not going
Go ahead, flight deck.
because that's not the focus today. But what I am going to do is I'm going to throw on very quickly my tracker software. See if it works. Excellent. All right. Clear on the left, clear on the right. First time flying out of Bogota. as you see, over there is another Colombian airline, Avianca. I think I'm saying that at Avianca. Yeah, I was right the first time, Avianca. I was trying to find some liveries so that when I do respective flights in South America, I would be using actual liveries for actual airlines. Like, there's a post that I have done between, let's see, I forget the name of it, but it's a very large airport in South Chile, and they have a cargo flight with Martin Air Cargo between them and Quito Approach, or the new Quito, because they closed the old one. And I've done a flight like that. So I want to do things like particularly between Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, real flights. So there's something for our fellow simulation brethren and sisterin in South America to enjoy. And to kind of give you an interest that might make you want to take take a peek at some of the airports that are for the South American continent, because I'm telling you, this Bogota is really nice. Now there's some shimmering that I'm noticing, and I think this is actually made for P3D V5. So there might be some things, an update that's needed, or maybe I'm gonna have to work on my lighting settings. I don't know, but I literally got this airport and 3 others just to complement a good number of airports for South America, so I'd have a complement in South America. I've bought 2 airports in Africa. I had one because technically Dubai, that's not on the Sinai Peninsula, that's on the African continent, so I have Dubai by flight, not flight, but Fly Tampa. And I have, I bought Johannesburg in South Africa. I bought King Shaka in South Africa. And I've also bought, I think it's Lagos. I forget the name of it, but I think it's Lagos, and it's in Nigeria. So I have just started, and there's this really small, like, strip airport in the middle of, I forget the name of the country. It's not one of the more popularly known countries, but it's a beautiful name. I'll have to look it up when I'm, after taxi or when we're in the air, and I'll tell you what it is. But for VFR flying, you definitely, and it was free. Yes, that's why I got to tell you tomorrow. I mean, I'm trying to get this posted tonight, so you check it out on Sim Market. The airport was free, and it was, what a bargain. I mean, after all, it was free. And it's a really nice airport to be taking out of in the bush country. So I'll let you know about that as soon as I get a chance to look it up. So while we're taxiing, I will share with you that, oops, I should have turned already. That's alright, we're going to the same place. So I'll be making a, let's see here, sorry about that, let me turn that off. I'll be making a right-hand turn onto Kilo. Alright. Okay, so, oh wow, my AI traffic is landing here at the airport, so once again, a living, breathing location. I do recommend Bogota. This is a really nice South American airport, and if you think about the places you can fly, since this is, I think, the major airport of Colombia, all the places you can go to Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, so it's to the United States, Mexico. Actually, I think I got taxied to Gates, Mexico City as well. Do not ask me what those flashes are. Got to work on that. worrying about that later. I really wanted to do this, start my series, and get into the next, which will be Africa. And there's some really cool airports that I've bought over the past maybe a month ago for Japan. So, like I said, just trying to do and contribute some material in airports that you may not have previously thought about, or if you're from those countries that you don't feel the videos give enough justice to, trying to do that. I really do appreciate, there was a gentleman who was watching the show and was talking. We was talking about ethnicity and who works at what airports, and they don't necessarily have to be from that region. And he works in Japan, so I was like, really cool to hear from someone who's living and working in one of the countries that I was flying out of, or into. I forget which it was, but you get my point. So hopefully, this'll hopefully this is going to spark some interest in you. If you're not from South America, that you might pick up a couple of airports, and even if you want to do long hauls, like one of the Germany flies into Rio de Janeiro. In fact, Germany and Brazil, there were like, I think, what is it? At the beginning of World War II, or is it now? I forget. There are 53,000 Germans living in Brazil, or is it Argentina? I forget. It's either or. German citizens that live in those countries. So, Bogota or Rio de Janeiro or Buenos Aires, these could be long haul flights if you're used to flying out of Europe or out of Miami in the United States. You feel where I'm coming from? So, like I said, I'm hoping that this series of South America, Africa, Pacific Asia will spark some interest, and also give some credit to some places that I think well populated but just don't get a whole lot of hype. Like, as one of my channel watchers in Australia was saying, like, Perth left out again, and I made a video just to make sure that Perth was represented. So, that's kind of where I'm going to be going with things in terms of flights, as we're in our stay-at-home video productions, and to keep you occupied and engaged while you stay safe at home while we're mitigating the issues of the coronavirus. That being said, we're kicking this whole thing off with South America, because I've really been having a buzz to get this done. I hope you are enjoying it. I know this was a bit of a long taxi, but it gave me an opportunity to explain to you kind of where I am on this whole thing. And yes, I'm looking forward to opening up Africa. And now that I think about it, I have another African airport that I totally forgot about, Casablanca. So I gotta make sure that I've port that over to Prepar3D, and that's another destination to fly to. Okay, let's do this. Landing lights. Oh, lock gear. That should have been on already. Okay, we're good. Flaps. Landing lights. Runway entry procedures. Now, I hate doing this, but I'm going to need to drop the steering wheel so I can see my map display. Takeoff. And let's bear in mind, this is an actual flight with an actual airline. It's not a common flight, because I checked Flyware, and there were no flights going there. None, zero, to where we're going. Can you take some moment to accelerate, I'll tell you. Rotate. Gear up. Let's just get a moment to glance at the scenery while we're departing. Deep autogen. Like, deep. Flaps up. Okay. Get up to 173, we will hit
This is your captain speaking. First step back, welcome everyone on our flight. We're currently cruising at an altitude of 11,000 feet.
No, we're not.
At the ground speed of approximately 250 miles per hour. In the event of proper rates, we should get a great view as we descend the cabin. We will be coming around shortly to offer you less snacks and beverages. Then sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight.
That countryside is insanely stunning. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put on the autopilot. So again, I'm using Orbx Global General, Orbx Global, basically the base package. I'm using Orbx South America Land Class and Orbx HD Buildings, or Building HD, I forget which order it is, and also Terraflora 2, which works in conjunction with HD Trees for Orbx. So all that's going on there to give you this. I also have even shade and even text shaders at work, and obviously we have true sky going on. I'm not using real weather right now because I was afraid that if I had real weather and it was cloudy, this is not an ILS approach, and this is really, you don't fly there unless it's clear. So I just decided to use just a general fair weather today. Normally I fly with real weather, but for this I'm making an exception. I mean, after all, Captain, since you're tagging along, why don't you get a view out of the passenger section? Now this flight actually isn't very long. It just makes it a whole lot easier to get there because it's a mountainous region and kind of remote. So this is not going to be a very long flight, though I'm not going to make you sit through all of it. But it says here our estimated travel time is, where is it? I lost it just that fast. It's something like 45 minutes, if I remember glancing at it correctly. Because the air distance is only 150 miles. Okay, so again, this is a wonderful opportunity to just kind of show off what, you know, Prepared 5 can offer, especially when you have the add-on scenery, and I can just say that this is absolutely beautiful. Alright, 1,000 to go. Beautiful. I know it's real simple, but I'm kind of digging this Easy Fly livery. Sometimes less is more. I like it. Colombia. So to tell you a little about the airport that we're going to be going to, this airport will be landing around 8,000 feet elevation. So this airport's up there, which is why you have a flight. I don't know how you know, they got roads, drive in there or not. I'm not familiar with the territory, but I was introduced to this airport looking on Sim Market, and it was saying how it was taking advantage of the sloped runways, and I thought, well, I need to get some more sloped runway in. Let's do this. And so I bought it. But then I was like, well, I gotta come out of a, you know, third party airport. What would be good? And I remember, I wish I did it. I was so hesitant. I could have got Bogota on sale, but I didn't. So I just went out and dished it. Okay, we're at cruising. I should have done our power setting for climb. I overlooked that, so my mistake. And we are just flying our navs to the airport. Come on, shaders, come on back. Don't ask me. Ah, there they go. Okay, I'm going to bring you back when we get a little closer to the airport. I guess this would be a good flight to do for live streaming. What do you think? Because then we could, you know, chat with each other and chew the fat while we have this little short hop. Maybe even have some suggestions on the flight. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit.
Cause I like to be myself. If you're not agree, you can walk away. You can walk away. You can walk away. Something in my mind makes me think I ain't nobody perfect. Something in my mind makes me think I ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. ain't nobody perfect. Something in my mind. Plays within, ain't nobody perfect. 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 Ain't nobody perfect.
Okay, so we're going to get ready for our descent. We're near top of descent. And what our flight restrictions are is we got to get down to 10,000 feet. So let's go ahead and put this at 10,000. And after we make this turn, we're going to probably wait maybe 1 minute, and then we'll be at top of descent. And we will descend to 10,000 feet, and then at the following waypoint of Lanub, we descend to 9,500 feet. I know, just a difference of 5,000 feet. And then, here we are on our turn. Excellent. After 9,500 feet, we will be on our glide slope, of which our decision height will be 8,020 feet. And at the decision height, we commit to landing. And our landing is at what is our altitude? Our airport altitude is 6,900. Yeah, it's an elevation of 6,945 feet. So it's going to be interesting. This is going to be my first time doing an approach like this, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's see how it goes. Alright, we're going through a bit of a cloud here, but that's cool. Okay, so our restriction is 10,000 or above, so let's go ahead and initiate our descent. I think we'll descend at 800 feet per minute. I think that's going to put us where we want to be. Bring back the throttles a little bit, and we'll change our power. Okay, so it's actually looking pretty decent, although we are going to need to increase our descent rate. I should have calculated it, but this is cool. I'm going to bring back the throttles just a little bit. Not really idle, but we're bringing them back. So this is going to be almost like an S. We're going to turn, we're going to do a procedure turn that's going to bring us about almost 180 degrees. And then we will turn onto our final. So we want to make our speed low enough that we can make this turn. Now, if I'm correct, we should be perpendicular to the airstrip. And if I didn't know better, I'd say that it should be right about there in the distance. So it comes our turn. Oh, and let's get our navs together. Let's see here. Because we have a VRR DME, so that's going to be 1210. Okay, we got that active, and our course should be 126. Alright, there we go. And what I will do is when we make our next turn, I will take control of the aircraft to descend to 9,500 feet, and then I will take it on the final glide slope into the airport. So we're going to go ahead and pull back on our throttles just a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I see the lights. See the poppy lights. We're turning. My aircraft. And let us quickly flaps 1. Okay, we're a little bit to the left. And we'll put on our nav VOR. Alright. So we're now descending. Let's see here. Gear down. Alright, I see it. Give it a little more speed. This is the first time doing this approach, so even I can't say that I fully know what it should look like. I'm just going with the navs. Okay, so the poppy lights are working. Okay, we're a little high. So I'll bring it down. Okay, I see that it's an offset angle. My what do you call VOR was covered by the label on my electronic flight bag, so I couldn't see that it was off center. But that's all right. We're good because we can turn onto this and have a good. Can't quite see. There we go. All right. Still a little high, but we can pull back on the throttle and make up for some of that. Yeah, not a good spot for the turn. Alright, here we go.
1,000. Think rate.
Yeah.
Think rate.
Here we go.
Think rate.
Ah, there we go.
Think rate.
We got this.
Think rate.
It's a little hot.
Think rate.
But I think we got it.
Think rate.
Here we go.
Think. 500. 400.
Oh, there should be
300. 200. 100. 30. 20. 10.
All right. Okay, so I see there's some issues with some of the scenery around. These buildings are a little off. I'll have to work on that. But hey, we made it. Now, for all you pilots, licensed and so forth, be gentle with me. I realize there's a lot I could have done better, but it was my first time doing this, and I know better. So just we'll have another shot at it. Okay, got the little tire marks for the turn. Yes, nevertheless, be gentle. I know there's a lot to improve upon, and I shall, but I am actually pretty excited that I stuck this landing. Pretty excited indeed. Sorry about the scenery over here. I'll have to work on it. By the way, it's because this runway is so short and in such a difficult position, only 2 planes, as I understand it, land here. This aircraft, the ATR series, the ATR 45 might, ATR 72, and the Dash 8. That's it. So I tried to make this as realistic as possible as it pertains to the airline, the aircraft, the route. I was really excited to do this. I'm glad it actually pulled off. Wasn't perfect. I'll work on it again. Maybe do a redo. Maybe do it, the next time we do it with a Dash 8. I will be so glad when the beta quadrant is released, because I am so looking forward to having a controller that has built-in reversers, well, in this case prop pitch, for reversing. I'm just so excited for that to be available. Okay, before let's just see if I can get GSX in on this. 5 suitable parking spaces. Let's say that I'm going to ask it to go to parking 3. I didn't say jump me there. Well, we're here. Oh well. Looking forward to parking it. It is what it is. Alright. We will cut it. And we have arrived. Sorry for the anticlimactic. I really did want to have the marshaller bring us in. But hey, like I said, we'll do this again. I really appreciate you joining me for my first of my foreign to me, not foreign to maybe some of you watching, but my foreign continent series. The start of this series was here with doing it with the South American series with our flight. From Bogota to La Nubia, Manila, in Manizales. I'll work on my Spanish. Nevertheless, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the virtual skies.